Hello everyone, my name is Tyler, welcome back to the channel, and today I am doing a cards you should train on mid to early Wizard 101. You're not quite at the midway point of Wizard 101, but you're definitely out of the early stages. You're in that awkward in-between stage, you're trying to figure out some cards that can help you out right now, and I've got the answer for you. So firstly we're going to start with the Lightning School. Now, the first card that I think you should be getting is the Storm Shark. This card does 375 to 435 damage, 70% accuracy, pretty standard for all lightning spells, and you get it at level 10. Very good to have early on in the game. Will get you through some of your harder boss battles, some of your earlier dungeons, at least early on in the game, your harder boss battles. A good pairing to go with this and any other lightning spells that you have is the Storm Trap. You get this one at level 16, and it's plus 30% to your next storm spell, or lightning spell. Now, this one is 100% accuracy. It cannot miss, you can't fizzle. It is amazing. Helps you out with any lightning spell card that you have, boosts it up, and it's not even just you. You put it on the enemy, and say your friend uses Lightning Snake or Thunder Snake, it's going to help them out and do extra damage to them as well. Now, the next school that we're going to be going to is the Ice School. And at the Ice School, the spell that you should be trying to learn here, I've actually got two of them for you. Sorry, nope, I've only got one. The next one has two spells. So for ice, we want the Evil Snowman. This one is going to be a level 10 spell that you get with 80% accuracy. It does 240 damage to 300 damage of the ice type. And this is just a great spell to get all around for ice coverage at that awkward point in time. It's basically a more powerful version of the Snow Serpent, and that's basically all you want at this point in the game. You just want some good coverage that does decent damage. You don't want to be level 46 and your best snow card or ice card is the Snow Serpent. That would be embarrassing. So go ahead, get yourself the Evil Snowman, get yourself some good solid damage, and we'll move on to the next school. Now, the next school that we're going to is the Fire School. And this one actually does have two spells that we'll be going over, I promise you. That is going to be the Glacial Golem spell and the Meteor Strike spell. Now, the Glacial Golem is very situational. It depends on who you're going up against. It does 275 damage to 375 damage, which is very good overall. But if you're attacking a storm or a ice type opponent, it does minus 70% of that damage. So you need to be wary of who you use it against, what enemies you're going to be facing, and whether or not you should have this spell in your deck or not. Now, it has 75% accuracy, which is a bit lower than the... Excuse me. It is not a bit lower. It is the same. It is the same as the rest of the fire cards that you have, but it does some pretty solid damage as long as it's not a storm or an ice type. Now, Meteor Strike. This is what's known as a AoE attack. It attacks all enemies. So say you're going up against 3 ghosts and a dark pixie, you use Meteor Strike, you're going to damage all 4 of them at the same time for 305 to 345 damage. This is 305. Say you rolled 305, you would do 305 to each individual opponent. It's not going to be spread out. You do 305, 305, 305, 305. Just like that. A very powerful card that you get early on. You get it at level 22. Very nice card to have. Helps you out quite a bit in the early game. Now, the next school that we're going to is the Death School, or the absence of the Death School. We talked to Malorn here, and the card we want here is called Vampire. You, excuse me. The next card you want here is called Vampire. It does 335 damage with an 85% accuracy. It does cost 4 pips, but that's not too big of an issue. You should have cards that you can rotate in and out to get pips. You should know about passing turns and how to handle yourself in those situations now. A 4 pip card, not going to be a big deal for you. You get it at level 16, pretty solid, not too late in the game, not too early. 335 damage, splits that back and heals half to you. Very nice to have. 85% accuracy, not much more you can ask for, honestly. Now the next school that we'll be going to is the Myth School, and in the Myth School we want the Cyclops card. Now the Cyclops card is a card that you get at level 10, and it has 80% accuracy for 265 damage to 325 damage. This card is good against plenty of enemies. You will not believe how much this card will help you. This card will get you through so many fights. I almost never fizzle when I play this card. I don't know if it says it has 80% accuracy. I feel like it's closer to 95%. I've fizzled maybe one time with this card. I genuinely can't think of a time where I fizzled with this card though. Now the next school that we'll be going to is the Life School, and at the Life School we will be taking the most cards out of any one school for this step in the game, and that is because if you are not a life student, you are not going to have very many healing spells that you just have on hand, so these spells are going to try to compensate for that. So the first one is going to be the Sprite spell. This one just does 30 flat healing to you up front, but then over the next 4 turns it will do 280 healing to you over 4 turns. So over the next 4 turns you just get 280 divided by 4 and you get healed over time. It's very nice to have, it's very efficient, it's a good card that, you know, if you get hit by like a Fire Elf card or something where it's time effect damage, you get hit over time more and more from it. This card is a good counter for that. Or if you know you need to keep attacking, but you also need to get your healing in, this card will heal you and you can still cast your attack spells at the same time. Now, moving on. The next spell is going to be the Spirit Armor. Spirit Armor gives you 400 armor, so you just have 400 armor until you take 400 damage, you have that armor there. It does 100% accuracy at level 16. Such a good card. This card has saved me so many times on my other wizard. It is immaculate. I love this card. Now, after that, you will have to get the Legend Golem card, but again, that's basically just a life version of the Glacial Golem that I showed you earlier. The only difference is it's weaker against Death and Myth instead of the Storm and the Ice. But we're gonna get that card and move on to the next one. We want the Seraph card. Seraph is 90% accuracy for 335 damage to 395 damage, and you get this one at level 22. This card is very solid coverage for life early on in the game, and even if you're not a life wizard but you're looking to get something to cover your basis for life damage, this card will be a very good one to check out. I highly recommend it. Now the next school that we have is going to be the Balance School. It doesn't really have a location so much more as just a person, so you just come over here to Arthur Weathersfield, and here we want the card Locust Swarm. You will have to get weakness, which is a pretty good overall card. I recommend you get this for just about every build that you're doing. It's going to protect you from 25% damage to the next card that attacks you. Pretty good to just have overall, so I'm not really going to speak too much on that one. Now, Locust Swarm, that is why we are here. We're here for a card that does 245 damage to 305 damage with 85% accuracy. This is pretty good damage with a pretty consistent hit rate, It will get you through just about any dungeon, one if not two-shotting most bosses if you get this card back to back. This card is a great balance card to have in your deck, just even things out, helps me out so much, keeps things consistent. I find that whenever I'm in a bind, one of my fire spells won't do, this Locust Swarm card seems to pop up, and it helps me out, gets me out of that situation. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Go ahead, leave a like, comment, subscribe down below, let me know what you think, and I will see you all next time.